There is something in the corner of your shed that you have been meaning to deal with. A web. Messy, asymmetrical, strung between a rusted tool hook and the wall like something abandoned, like something that has no business being there, like a sign that your shed has gotten away from you. It is not the elegant spiral web you might picture when you think of spiders. It is not geometric or beautiful. It is a chaotic tangle of threads going in no particular direction, thick with dust, probably with the dried husks of small insects caught in it, weeks or months old by the look of it. And if your first instinct has been to reach for a broom handle and sweep it down in one clean stroke, stop. Because what built that web is not what you think it is, and what is happening inside that tangle of threads right now is one of the most effective pest control operations taking place anywhere on your property, and destroying it is one of the most costly mistakes a homeowner can make without ever realizing they made it. Today, we are going to look at that web together. We are going to find out who built it, what it is actually doing, and why the shape of it, the very thing that makes it look like a mess, is the most important thing about it, in ways that will change how you see every corner of your shed, your garage, your basement, and your attic. And by the end, I think you will understand why pest control professionals and structural entomologists, people who have spent their careers studying exactly what lives in the dark corners of buildings, consistently identify this web as one of the most valuable things you could have in an enclosed structure. Let us start with who built it. The web in your shed almost certainly belongs to a cobweb spider, a member of the family Parasteatoda, the most species-rich spider family on the planet, with over 3,000 species found across every inhabited continent. The most common in North American sheds and garages is Parasteatoda tepidariorum, the common house spider, a creature so perfectly adapted to human structures that it has followed us into every building we have ever made, on every continent where we have settled. She is small, typically between 4 and 8 millimeters in body length, brown to tan, with a rounded abdomen marked with faint chevron patterns that make her nearly invisible against wood grain or aged paint. Most people who discover her web have never actually seen her. She is there, she is watching, but she is not interested in you. The first thing to understand about the cobweb spider is that she is nothing like the spiders you are afraid of. The bold, jumping spider will face you directly and watch you with its large front eyes. The wolf spider will run toward movement and startle you on a garage floor. The yellow sac spider is the one most often blamed for unexplained bites found in the morning. These are the spiders that interact with human space in ways that create encounters. But the cobweb spider does not move toward anything. She sits in her web and she waits. She has no interest in floor level, no interest in the gaps where your hands go, no interest in anything that does not fly or crawl directly into her structure. She is, in terms of human proximity, completely invisible by choice. Her entire life strategy is stillness and patience in an elevated corner, and that strategy has been refining itself for over 200 million years. So what is she doing in that corner, and why does her web look the way it does? This is where the story becomes extraordinary. The cobweb, the tangled, directionless, structurally chaotic web you have been meaning to clear out, is not a failed version of a better web. It is a completely different kind of structure, engineered for a completely different purpose. The orb weaver builds a flat spiral to intercept flying insects in open air. The cobweb spider builds a three-dimensional tangle specifically designed to catch crawling insects that are moving along surfaces, along walls, along floors, along the edges of shelving and tool handles. The threads that hang down from the main structure are called gumfoot threads. They run from the web to the floor or wall below it, under tension, and they are sticky at the base. When an insect walking along the surface touches one of these threads, the thread snaps taut, lifts the insect off its footing, and suspends it in the air. The insect cannot regain the surface. It struggles. The vibration travels up the thread and into the web, and the cobweb spider is already moving. She does not chase. She does not search. She drops down the thread, wraps the insect in silk in under 4 seconds, and carries it back up into the tangle. She has been doing this with every insect that has crossed the floor of your shed. Every fungus gnat, every earwig, every ground beetle, every silverfish, every woodlouse that found its way inside. The web is not a passive decoration. It is an active trap covering the perimeter of her territory 24 hours a day, in the dark, in conditions where no other pest control method is working. When you are not there, when the shed is locked, when nothing is on or running, she is hunting. Now here is the part that will matter most to you as a homeowner and anyone who stores things in enclosed spaces. What does the cobweb spider prefer to catch above almost every other prey item when given the opportunity? Researchers studying Theridiidae prey composition in residential structures have documented something that changes the entire calculation about these webs. The common cobweb spider has a well-established and repeatedly observed preference for other spiders, including spiders significantly larger than herself. She is an active intra-guild predator. She will take web-invading males. She will take wandering juveniles of other species. And she has been documented across multiple studies catching and consuming black widow spiders, Latrodectus species, with enough regularity that she is now considered one of the primary biological checks on black widow populations in human structures in North America. Let that settle for a moment. The messy web in the corner of your shed, the thing you have been planning to sweep down, may be the reason you are not finding black widows in the corners where your hands go, in the gaps behind the workbench, in the spaces behind the storage boxes where that particular spider prefers to build. The cobweb spider does not just catch insects. She removes other spiders. She does it in the dark, in the exact spaces that are most difficult to inspect and most dangerous to reach. No spray reaches behind your stored equipment as continuously as she does. No trap covers the perimeter of a room at floor level as completely as her gumfoot threads do, and no inspection catches what she catches, because she is there all the time, every night, every season, in conditions where you are simply not present. There is one more thing about the web that deserves your attention, something you will notice if you look at it more closely than you ever have before. Look at the bottom of the web, where the gumfoot threads meet the floor or shelf below. You will see small, dried parcels wrapped in silk. Some are barely visible, the size of a sesame seed. Some are larger. These are the remains of her catches, the dried and silk-wrapped bodies of everything she has taken since she built this structure. A silverfish, a fungus gnat, a small beetle. And if your shed has had a black widow problem in previous years, possibly something larger and darker, wrapped in the same tight silk. She does not discard what she catches. She stores it in the web. The web is simultaneously her hunting ground, her pantry, and her record of every pest that has entered this space and been removed from it. You are looking at months of continuous, unpaid, uninterrupted pest control, wrapped in silk and hanging in a corner you have been meaning to clean out. Some people, when they understand this, feel a complicated kind of embarrassment about how many times they have swept these webs down without thinking. Others feel a profound respect for the precision of what she has been doing in their space without any acknowledgement. Most people feel something in between, a quiet recognition that something has been working on their behalf in the dark for a very long time, and they never once thought to leave it alone. So what should you actually do about the web in your shed? The answer depends on one thing. Is the web occupied or abandoned? An occupied web will have the spider present, resting at the center of the tangle or retreating to the edge when disturbed. There may be one or more small egg sacs visible, round, papery, cream or tan in color, suspended in the upper structure. If the web is occupied, leave it entirely alone. Do not touch it. Do not blow it with a leaf blower. Do not relocate it. She cannot rebuild in a new location from scratch with the same effectiveness. The web she has built is calibrated to the specific geometry of that corner, the distances, the angles, the traffic patterns of insects moving through that space. Move it, and you break something that took weeks to develop, an abandoned web, no spider present, no egg sac, dusty and degraded, can be removed if the location genuinely creates a problem. But even then, leave the corner itself undisturbed for a season. Another cobweb spider will find it. They always do. The same corner that produced one good web will produce another, because the corner itself is the right geometry for this kind of hunting. And cobweb spiders are extraordinarily good at finding the right geometry. What you should never do is sweep down an occupied web because it looks untidy, not because the cobweb spider will do anything to you. She won't. She will drop to the floor on a thread, run to the nearest crack, and disappear. But you will have ended a pest control operation that was running continuously in a space you cannot monitor, removing a predator that was keeping the population of genuinely harmful insects and spiders in check, and eliminated the only thing in your shed that was working against the species you actually need to worry about. The web in the corner of your shed is not a sign that your shed has gotten away from you. It is a sign that your shed is being managed by something that has been doing this work longer than our species has existed. Leave it there. Look at it differently now. And the next time someone reaches for a broom near one of these tangles, tell them what is actually happening inside it. Have you ever looked closely at the web in your shed or garage and noticed what was caught in it? Tell me about it in the comments. I read every single one, and this is exactly the kind of story this community was built for. And if you want to understand another resident of your shed, one that does not build a web at all, but hunts in a way that is somehow even more unexpected, the next video is already waiting for you.